a random order, so check them all out. Or else! First up on the list is 1992's Dead Alive, directed by Peter Jackson. Yeah, that Peter Jackson, but believe me, there's no hobbits in this movie. Instead, we have Lionel and Pepita, a couple destined to be together by the fates themselves. Everything is going great for the couple until Lionel's crazy mother gets bit by a Sumatran rat monkey. The problem with the bite from the Sumatran rat monkey is, it gives you... His mother's condition quickly deteriorates and she passes away, only to come back as a bloodthirsty zombie! Lionel does his best to keep the outbreak under control, but it turns out the... is too powerful. Now Lionel and Lupita are forced to go to extreme lengths to survive the zombie apocalypse. This movie doesn't take itself serious at all and is full of tons and tons of hilarious jokes. But the faint of heart beware. This movie is full of blood, gore, and disgustingness. Oh yeah, and don't forget, Singaya! Singaya! The next movie on the list is 2007's Teeth. Meet Dawn, a girl who lives beside a nuclear power plant, because that's always good for you. She has lived her life so pure that she even runs a promise ring seminar. All is well until she meets a boy she likes, but love quickly turns to terror as this boy decides to rape the wrong girl. Oh man, something doesn't feel quite right. Watch as Dawn uses the internet to discover she has the dreaded vagina dentata, tooth vagina. This prompts her to go to a doctor for apparently the first time in her life. Of course, the doctor gets too handsy and hilarity ensues. Realizing she can't cure this deformity, Dawn decides to become a super slut and get revenge on all of her enemies. Classic. Now for something a little more serious, 2010's The Dead. This Ford Brothers movie is shot in war-torn Africa using local non-actors, which definitely makes it different off the top from your standard zombie movie. Apparently the only thing that can stop the war in Africa is a zombie apocalypse! The Dead is a throwback to the very slow zombies created with practical makeup effects and gore, not CG, that we all used to remember and love. The zombies may be slow as hell and not overly intelligent, but there's definitely no lack of suspenseful situations created in this movie. Much of the flick is dark, there isn't much dialogue or character development, but the old school feel and practical effects makes it definitely worth a watch. A sequel to The Dead has recently come out as well, The Dead 2 India, so if you enjoy this movie, definitely check that one out as well. Looking for a good werewolf movie? Check out Bad Moon! These werewolves originated in the Amazon rainforest, and like most werewolves and monsters, they hate it when you get laid more than they do. Which, judging from the look of this guy, isn't a lot. When the bad moon rises, there's only one person that can save the day. Muriel Hemingway! No, that's not right. The real hero in this story is Thor the dog. Who's a good boy, Thor? Who's a good boy? When Uncle Ted comes to town to stay with the fam, acting strangely all the time, only Thor sees what's truly going on. But does his owner listen to him? No! The amazing werewolf costume most likely won't have you saying, but more like, aw yeah! The moral of the story here, folks, is if your kid, your wife, or your dog are trying to tell you there's a monster outside, there's probably a monster outside, so go check it out, alright? Up next on the list is 2012's The Devil in Me. The real reason this movie is on the list is it's filmed in Smackdendale's hometown of London, Ontario. Hey, I've been there! I've walked down that street drunk too! This is the perfect time to tell everyone out there not to mess with the supernatural when you're wasted. They really, really hate that. Drunk Ouija board sounds like fun? Just don't do it. Believe me, I've tried. I don't know about you, but this is pretty much the reason I've never wanted to get a second reading done. Getting possessed by a demon? No, thank you. Yeesh.
He's coming for you.
This creepy little girl isn't talking about your boyfriend, silly. A demon wants your body and he wants it bad. This movie is definitely reminiscent of The Exorcist, but is by no means a copy. The director manages to portray a new take on the possession genre on a relatively small budget. The only chance for our heroine to survive is a preacher without his faith. But where will we find one? Oh, here's one now! But will it be enough? Dun dun dun! Oh, Slither. I'm definitely excited to share this one with you guys. After being rejected by his wife, Grant decides to go out and have a couple drinks and ends up stumbling upon a meteorite. Yeah, that's probably not going to end up being a good thing. No, that's burrowing in. That's definitely not good. Grant's body begins to go under many changes, such as his wang growing out of his chest. Ew. This seems like the perfect time to remind you kids out there, if you're gonna have sex with an alien, please wear a condom, or else...
Something's wrong with me.
His condition rapidly deteriorates, so the townsfolk are forced to round up a posse and take him out. Unfortunately, it's also time for Mama to give birth. Oh man, imagine having to pay child support for that many kids. Worst part is if one of those gets into your body, you're turning into a weirdo zombie. Tune in to see if Nathan Fillion and Elizabeth Banks can save the day with only awesome one-liners and courage. Well, and of weapons, of course. I mean, obviously. Hello, boys and ghouls! This is a little something I like to call Demon Night. The stars are finally aligning after many years, which means it is time for Breaker to keep this fancy-looking Keema-jigger away from Billy Zane. Remember back when Billy Zane was cool? You don't? Well, that's because you haven't seen this movie. In Demon Night, Billy Zane walks out of a car crash, punches through a guy's head, raises a demon army, can possess you with just a look. If that's not cool, I don't know what is. So, why this key, you may ask? Turns out it contains the blood of Jesus, and if the demons get it, they can take over the whole universe. So, instead of making a deal with a demon...
Is that a yes?
No, that's me giving you the finger, asshole.
Why not tune in instead and see if Breaker and his band of misfits can save the whole universe from eternal darkness. Alright, so Maximum Overdrive isn't exactly an unknown movie, but it's my list and I can do what I want. Blah blah blah. What you need to know here is the movie's directed by Stephen King back when he did more blow than Scarface. AC/DC did the soundtrack, there is a star-studded cast, kind of, and machines come to life for some reason. You know that if machines actually came to life, this is totally what they would do to us. We have been misusing and throwing them out for so long now, they must be pretty pissed off at us and want to reap a terrible revenge. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Now for that star-studded cast I was telling you guys about.
You sure make love like a hero.
As if that's the first time Emilio Estevez has ever heard that. You may recognize this voice as one Miss Lisa Simpson. And she swears like a champ. Then of course there's always this lady here. Fortunately Emilio is here to save the day. Until whatever it is this thing is shows up. Oh, Steven. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, isn't it? Up next is Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. This movie's got a pretty standard story of college kids go camping and rednecks kill them. Wait, that's not what this movie's about at all. No, the real story here is college kids watch too many movies and think rednecks are out to kill them. So they decide to kill them first. All this is set off when Tucker and Dale go fishing, not peeping, and see one of the students almost drown. Of course, they take her home and care for her. Of course, this all gets misunderstood. Just like here. He's not trying to kill the chainsaw, he's just trying to get away from the bees. But, of course, this college kid impales himself. Before any more of them die, the college kids decide to go on the offensive, but repeatedly fail and die themselves. When Tucker is taken prisoner and tortured, it is up to his loyal friend Dale to mount a rescue and try his best to save him. Ooh, that was close. Tune in to see if this tea party makes it so they can solve their problems peacefully. Spoiler, it doesn't.
What the goddamn to do? What do we have here?
What we have here, Officer Mooney, is the last movie on our list. 1988's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. If you're one of those poor unfortunate souls that are afraid of clowns, chances are this movie is why, because these clowns are terrifying. These space clowns came to Earth for one reason and one reason only, to terrorize us and kill all humans. In completely hilarious ways. You immediately realize how much time and effort was put into the sets and costumes. They do an excellent job portraying the terror that is clowns. On a final note, this is also the winner of the Smackdown Dills Award for Most Delicious Way to Die. Death by Pie. Man, I hope that's the way I get to go. But I'll probably just get hit by a car or get cancer or something. We hope you guys have a great sugar-filled Halloween. If there are any horror movies that we missed that you think people need to know about, please let us know in the comments section. Sleep tight, if you can!